back, everybody. This is episode 76, and you are indeed watching Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program on the internet today. I'm your host, the guy with 1.5 thumbs. And today, dear brothers and sisters in Christ, Orthodox and the Religion of the Future by Father Seraphim Rose of blessed memory. Originally published in 1975, with updates in 1978, and with the 5th edition in 2018 as well. Whew! I know a lot of you have been waiting a long time for this video, so we're going to do this in 2 parts within this one episode here. I'm going to read a prepared statement. I'm going to do that thing where I pretend that I'm academic and that I know what I'm talking about and read a script. And then from there, we're going to go over a few tidbits from inside the book. Before we get into that, first and foremost, thank you to my patrons for making this show possible. You bought this book. You guys are awesome. Also, like, share, subscribe, all that mess. Check out the links below for friends of the show and where you can get a copy of this, what I will call, without hesitation, essential reading, folks. Okay, so let's go with the prepared statement first. I will read this from my Chromebook because I actually typed it up and I timed it out. It takes a couple minutes to get through, so bear with me. I think I got a burp. I just ate pasta. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Class act over here, folks. All right, so the prim and proper review goes like this. The works of Father Seraphim have been palmatic at best in the current Orthodox world in the West. Though his books, this one in particular, are credited as part of the reawakening and reinvigoration of Holy Orthodoxy in Soviet and post-communist Russia, here in the States, it's a much more different and sometimes complex story. To begin with, Orthodoxy in the West, mainly North America, has struggled in the past 100 years with not only the competition of previously established Christian denominations, but the rising tide of secularism and the results of these experiences on the convert before entering the faith. It is because of this slowly creeping in of unintentional heresy and prelest that Father Seraphim's work has become so divisive. A people not thoroughly catechized will easily see a strict and ardent defender of the faith as an extremist radical or conspiratorial. Yet it is here in which the book in question finds its ultimate strength. The book, on its surface, presents a case study of modern spiritual movements and their negative impact on the spiritual life not only of Orthodox Christians, but all people. Many examples and cautionary tales color the book and act as a crux of the entire thesis. This in of itself is sufficient reason to recommend reading Father Seraphim's timely observations. Of course, even the casual reader will notice the deeper and more serious impact of this work by around page 40 or so. My hands are still working. Deeper into the book, one is plainly presented with the specifics of these Eastern practices, Western evangelical and augmented Roman Catholic and Protestant teachings that pose such a great threat to our lives and, most importantly, to the salvation of our immortal souls. Yoga, Zen, transcendental meditation, Pentecostal revivalism, and the now infiltrated Western Church are all called out and studied in depth. Of course, since all of this has been normalized and embedded in our culture since the 1980s, these revelations may come as an overreaction and extremist at first, until it's put in the context of the mid-1970s when it was written. In the end, what this book shows the modern reader is just how far the West has fallen and how, unfortunately, these ideas have begun creeping into our beloved Orthodox Church. But herein also is hope. This book, in my opinion, should be read by all converts to the Orthodox faith, if for no other reason than to inform them more deeply about the struggle we face in the 21st century. And it is worth noting other books, which I have covered, by modern writers who reinforce the presented observations and expand on them. So huge props, and this is where I go off script, to both Father Andrew Stephen Damick author of Orthodoxy and Heterodoxy, and the amazing Father Spiridon Bailey and his book Orthodoxy and the Kingdom of Satan, which is the spiritual successor to the present volume, which I have reviewed before. So now that I've kind of read the script, I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit, we can talk about the book proper. And I'm sorry there wasn't a whole lot of hand movement while I was reading that. I was really concentrating on doing the proper voice. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of the divisive nature of Father Seraphim's work is well known among the Orthodox, and once you get about to the middle of the book, you understand why, because it's right around the center. And I was rereading it over breakfast this morning. Signs from Heaven, which is an entire section on the discernment of the UFO phenomenon since the turn of the 20th century, and of course, looks to early science fiction writers such as Mary Shelley, Jules Verne, H.G. Wells, Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft, with kind of building the framework of this existential issue that the Mass has an issue with, where we are now projecting our need and desire for something greater than ourselves into fiction rather than the salvation of Christ. And of course, the book goes on to outline the heresies of evangelicalism and the Pentecostal revivalist movement, which Father Andrew Stephen Damick did a bang-up job with in both editions of Orthodoxy and Heterodoxy. So here's, I didn't really think this episode would be so short, but it's kind of going to be, because I would really like those of you who have not read this yet to go out and read it, primarily because this book, much like its contemporaries, is not so much the sensationalist, whack job conspiracy theory work, but really it's a reaffirmation for the modern age what our Orthodox faith says about these things, and how we should approach them. It informs our behavior, so to speak. And in a nutshell, this book and many others like it really can be boiled down to, be careful out there, kid. Really. And that's pretty much it. And these books just go more in depth of why we should be careful and of what. Of course, for the modern reader who is not familiar with the proliferation in the 60s and 70s of the Buddhist, Zen, and Taoist movements in California and around Mount Shasta, will be educated in that. And once you finish that section and you get to around page 36, which is very early in the book, you'll understand where a lot of the modern issues in Western Christianity really come from. So, yeah, does a fine job of breaking down everything from the yogis in California to Thomas Merton and beyond. Anyway, that's my very short piece on this piece, and I really do have to stretch this to 10 minutes, don't I? Not that I'm making ad money, but someday I might. Whatever. Check us out on Patreon. What's that other thing I'm on? Instagram. Starting to get the itis. Food coma imminent. Anyway, thank you all so very much for watching the video, listening to my words, as uneducated as they may be, even though I think I'm pretty good at faking it at this point. Please, 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 don't forget to go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. I love you all. God bless.